We are comparing this silver arowana named Hsieha to herself from a year ago. This is Hsieha from July 2020, which is a little over a year ago, at about 2 feet in the tank where it grew up from 3 inches and spent 8 years in this tank. So this is 8 years old. The tank is about 100 gallons, and that's already in our tank after we just rescued and brought her over, put her first in the 1800 gallon, where she spent a few months and then went to 4500 gallon. This is to show how thin she was. I mean, that looks like pencil thin. And this is Hsieha right now. This was shot in August 2021, so about 13-14 months later in 4500 gallon. So here she is 9 years old, and she lived in the 4500 gallon for almost a year and ate her fill and filled out a lot, got thicker, grew about 6 inches, so it's about 30 inches, maybe a little over, but I think it's about 30 inches long and probably 10 times thicker than she was. Let's say in this photo. You see how big the head was compared to her body? This is, behind it is a normal arowana. This arowana is only 1 year old. Head to body proportion, this is normal. Head to body of this 8 years old is way unbalanced towards the head being too big. Here it's much better looking. Her head is a little bit still too big, but it looks more or less balanced. Here is Victoria's arowana, Hsieha, as we call her by their family name, after 1 year in a 4500 gallon tank. And I will include the footage of it from a year ago when it was rescued, when it was 8 years old. And probably about one third or 1/4 of its present weight. Lengthwise, it probably added a few inches. It was about 2 feet when we rescued it, and right now it's probably 2.5 feet. Looks that way. Maybe a tad bit longer, because Alf and Hsieha were engaged in courtship. This is the beta male. These are 2 females. Hsieha is the biggest, bigger and thicker, but it's much older. The other female is only 2 years old. Beta male. Alpha female again. I'm sorry, alpha male again. And that's Hsieha. Doing very well, eating very well. She put on a lot of weight. Her proportions changed. Even though the head is still a bit too big for her body, but it looks much better now. Her body was very thin before, and the head looked oversized. Here's Hsieha again. Anyway, I'm gonna include the footage from when it was rescued a year ago, so you can compare when we first got her. Thank you.
Into the wild water, what's gonna happen?
Into the wild?
Yeah, just put it to the lake or the canal, what's gonna happen? You gonna die or?
Yeah, in a long spell it would have died. And also this is illegal.
Of course, of course.
Yeah. So she spent 10 years. She grew up there. They bought it at about 3 inches. So this fish spent 10 years in a, it looked like about 120 gallon. You can see Dylan's arowana on the top. That's a young arowana, about 1 year old, 1.5 years old. And this is the new guy. Clearly a different proportion of head to body. Much bigger head versus the body. But it has nice colors. It was fed Hikari floating sticks, as well as live feeder goldfish. The new guy. Arowana are usually pretty hardy, but as I said, even when fish are kept in bad conditions for a very long time, they learn, or their bodies adapt to those bad conditions to compensate for it. And then you take them out and put them in better conditions, and they die on you because their bodies don't have any more ability left to adjust to new conditions, because for so long it was broken into this into the bad condition. I'm not saying that the prior conditions were bad, it just the tank was smaller than desired. I'm just saying in general that it's not surprising if that should happen, from my experience anyway. Yeah, the previous owners told me the fish would often jump, and you can see how badly damaged is its lower lip. It's got a big chunk of skin missing and a big bump on it. But other than that, and the odd body proportions, I think it has a good chance of thriving in here. If it took floating Hikari arowana sticks, it should have no problem taking the pellets that I offer and the thawed fish that I offer this tank, or actually all of my tanks. That's Dylan's arowana. Posturing up a little bit and flaring up and looking at the newcomer, like saying, I'm the boss here, I've been here before you.